So we saw that petals are 5, which is the corolla are 5. They have written as C 5, and same way like the calyx it is also fused. Which is fused? The corolla is also fused. So it is closed. It has a closed bracket. Okay, and then the other part is the androecium, and there are 5 stamens. Stamens are 5, and they are epipetalous, which means that what is epipetalous? They are fused with the petals. That is why they have marked an adhesion line. So I hope you remember about the adhesion line which we have studied in the floral symbol. In that the corolla and the androecium are they are adhered to one another. Okay, so this is represented by this line there. Okay, and now coming to gynoecium. So these gynoeciums are superior, right? So the ovary will be superior. So they have drawn a line under the gynoecium. And how many gynoecium will be there? They are bicarpellary. It means that it will have 2 gynoecium. So they have written a 2. And how are these gynoeciums? They are syncarpous, which means that they are fused up together. So a bracket has been opened and closed, which shows that it is fused together, right? So this is how the floral formula of the Solanaceae family. Now coming to the floral diagram, so you can see a mother axis here. So this mother axis is nothing that it shows the symmetry of the flower. So we have studied it as actinomorphic symmetry, right? So they have put it an plus symbol in the mother axis. They have put it a small round, and in that plus symbol is added. And then coming to the calyx portion, so we saw that sepals are united. So they have drawn 5 sepals, and these 5 sepals are connected to one another. You can see it here. They have connected the sepals, and I hope you are clear with this, right? So this one. So this is the connection through which they are connecting one sepal to the other. Now coming to the petals. Petals also, they are also gamopetalous. So they are also connected to one another. So we can see how it is connected to one of the other petals. So this is the petal. Each one is the petal. There are 5 petals. 5 petals are drawn and they are connected. Now coming to the androecium portion. So there are 5 androecium. You can see a butterfly shaped structure here, right? So there will be 5 androecium. And these 5 androecium, they are fused with the corolla. We learned it, right? So an adhesion line was drawn to show the fusion with the corolla, which means that they are epipetalous, right? So to represent that, a line has been drawn from the corolla till the androecium. You can see a rod like line drawn there. I'll just show it. So you can see a line there, children. So this one. So this line indicates that the corolla, the petal and the androecium are connected. So see, we saw here, right? So they are epipetalous, which means that the petals and the androecium are attached together, right? So this is how they are representing the androecium. Now coming to the gynoecium, we told that they are bicarpellary and they are bilocular. Bilocular means we can see 2 locules here, empty spaces here. In these 2 empty spaces, we can see the placenta, which is swollen and it has many ovules in it, right? So there are 2 locules and they are bicarpellary, syncarpous, and its placenta will have swollen. It will be swollen and it will have many ovules in it. Okay, so this is how the floral diagram of Solanaceae family is. Now coming to the next part, children, which is the Liliaceae family. Okay, now let us see the Liliaceae family. So coming before moving on to the Liliaceae family, we'll just see the economic importance of this Solanaceae family plants. So here in the Solanaceae family, we see that most of many of the plants which belong to this family are source of food. Example, tomato, brinjal, potato, all these we eat as food, right? So most of the plants of this family are source of food. Examples are tomato, brinjal and potato. Children, if you have tomato plant in your home, you can just go near the plant, observe the different parts we have talked about, see the flower and see whether it has other parts which we have discussed here, and go through the stem, leaf portion, everything. Okay, and now coming to the next one, which is the spice. Chili example. So chili is acting as a spice. It has an economic importance of being spicy substance. So if you have chili plant, at least you can go through it. And then comes the next one, which is medicine. Example is belladonna. Belladonna is an example of medicinal plant of this family. And then ashwagandha. So this is ashwagandha. It is also a medicinally very useful plant. And next comes the fumigatory. Fumigatory means, fumi means it is fumes, right? So leaves which can be, or the plant parts which can be made into fumes. Okay, an example of such plants are tobacco. You know, tobacco, I hope you know, tobacco, eating and smoking, all these are dangerous, right? So it is used as the fumigatory substance, which means that it produces fumes which is used by it is used for different purposes. Okay, fumigatory example is tobacco. And then comes the last one, which is the ornamental plants. Ornamental plants, these are plants which are grown for their beautiful leaf and flowers. An example of the ornamental flowers, petunia. You can see the petunia, different types of petunia. It will have very brightly colored flowers, and these are all ornamental plants. Okay, clear with the Solanaceae family, children? So what you have to do, you have to write everything in your notebook and then read properly. Only then you will be able to keep something in your mind. Now coming to the next last family, which is called as Liliaceae family. Right, so if you talk about the Liliaceae family, commonly it is called as lily family, and it is a characteristic representative of monocotyledonous plant. Okay, so it represents a monocotyledonous plant and it is distributed worldwide. Ella സ്ഥലത്തും നമുക്കിത് കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. Now coming to vegetative characters of this Liliaceae family, they are perennial herbs. Okay, what are they? They are perennial herbs, which means that every year they will be producing. So herbs which are perennial, which means that year after year they will be producing flowers and other things which is needed in them. And these will be with underground bulbs or corms or rhizomes. So these perennial herbs, they will have underground bulbs. As like example of underground bulb is the onion plant, right? So they can be in the form of bulbs or corms. Corms are structures which are, that is the stem portion of the plant will be very thick and it forms the corms. And the next is the rhizomes. Rhizomes are the swollen portion of the underground part of the stem. So that is called as rhizome. Now coming to the leaf, they are mostly basal. Okay. So these leaves will be mostly basal, which means that most plants of this family will have basal leaves. Basal means leaves will arise from the base portion of the base portion of that stem, right? And then some plants, they have alternate leaf also, and the leaves are linear. Linear means it will be straight, and they are exstipulate, which means that leaf-like structures will not be seen at the leaf base of the of such Liliaceae family, and they have parallel venation. So this is one variety which has parallel venation, and they don't have reticulate venation plants in them. Okay, now coming to floral parts, it is very interesting, children. Here we have some more new parts which is included in the flower part. And if you see the floral part, first let us talk about the inflorescence. So inflorescence, as I said, solitary means it is only one, or a single flower and dial floral axis, we are calling it as solitary, or in some flowers they may be cymose. Okay, and often these cymose inflorescence they will be umbellate clusters, right? So cymose, often they are umbellate clusters. Umbellate clusters are nothing but, so from one point many flowers will arise. Okay, older flowers will be seen in the lowermost outermost portion, and in the inner part it will have newer flowers, right? So cymos, it is often umbellate cluster. So this is how an umbellate cluster will be. Now coming to flowers, they are bisexual and also actinomorphic. Okay, so how are they? They are bisexual and actinomorphic. Bisexual means they will have both male and female reproductive part in the same flower. They are actinomorphic, which means that the symmetry are actinomorphic symmetry, which is also called as radial symmetry. And now coming to the next part, which is called as perianth. So till the last family we learnt about calyx and corolla, but this family, instead of the calyx and corolla, it is having a structure which is called as perianth, which means that there won't be any differentiation between sepals and petals, right? And we call that term as tepal. Okay, petals and sepals together it form tepals, and there are about 6 tepals in the Liliaceae flowers. Okay, and it will be in the arrangement of 3 plus 3, and often it is united with tube, and they have valvate estivation. So often it is united into tube-like structures and they have valvate estivation. Okay, now coming to androecium, stamens are 6 in numbers and they are placed in the position of 3 plus 3, which are fused up together. Okay, coming to gynoecium, they are tricarpellary, which means that they have 3 carpellaries in them, and they are syncarpous, which means that carpels are fused up together. And how's the ovary? It is superior ovary. And how was this tricapillary? They are formed as trilocular structures which has many ovules in it. Okay, so you can see the triloculary structure. Triloculary means 3 empty spaces ആയിരിക്കും കാണാൻ പറ്റുക. This one, and this one, and it will has many locule, and it has an axial placentation. It means that the ovules will develop from the axis of the placenta. ഈ placenta വന്ന് ചേരുന്ന axial portion ആയിരിക്കും the ovules will be formed. Okay, now coming to a case of fruit, it is usually capsule and rarely they are berry also. Okay, and endosperm, that is seed, they are endospermous, which means that they will have endosperm layer. And